I've had no way of contacting her always. The phone number that I called did.
You won't believe what Thomas Markle just revealed. After years of silence, he's finally speaking out, with jaw-dropping secrets about Meghan Markle that could change everything you thought you knew. From hidden family drama to shocking truths about their relationship, this is the explosive story everyone's been waiting for. Get ready, the royal family's biggest controversy just got even bigger. Stay tuned for all the details. Thomas Markle's explosive claims about his daughter Meghan have sent shockwaves through both their family and the public. For years, Thomas mostly stayed quiet, supporting Meghan from the sidelines as she rose to fame. But now, things have changed dramatically. He has stepped into the spotlight with harsh accusations that challenge the story Meghan has told about her life. Thomas claims that Meghan's image of growing up struggling and feeling isolated is not the truth. Instead, he insists she had a comfortable childhood with plenty of financial support and love from her family. According to him, much of what Meghan has shared publicly, especially in her Netflix series, is a carefully crafted story designed to win sympathy and boost her image. This has created a deep rift in the Markle family. Thomas is no longer the father who defended Meghan, but has become her most vocal critic. He says Meghan has distanced herself from her family and even erased parts of their shared history to better fit her public persona. This has not only hurt Thomas, but also Meghan's half-siblings, who have joined him in speaking out. They accuse her of abandoning the family and using their support only to climb the social ladder before cutting ties. This family division plays out very publicly, causing pain and confusion for everyone involved.
Weeks, every day I try to text her. I just haven't received any comment back.
Thomas feels betrayed and forgotten, watching from a distance as Meghan builds her life with the royal family and in Hollywood. He insists that he was always there for her, working hard to give her opportunities and a good life. Now, he believes she is rewriting the past to make herself appear more relatable and independent than she truly is. This clash between their stories has sparked intense debate among fans and critics alike. People wonder who is telling the truth and what really happened behind closed doors. This conflict is about more than just family disagreements. It reflects the pressures that come with fame and how public figures sometimes reshape their personal stories for the world to see. For Thomas, it's a painful experience of being pushed aside and misrepresented. For Meghan, it's a struggle to maintain control over her narrative while dealing with complex family dynamics. The fallout from these claims is ongoing, leaving the public watching closely as this deeply personal family drama unfolds in the public eye. The way public figures shape their image is often a complex and carefully managed process, especially when it comes to celebrities like Meghan Markle. According to her father, Thomas Markle, there's a deliberate attempt to manipulate public perception through media, particularly through carefully crafted stories and high-profile projects like her Netflix series. This claim suggests that what the public sees is not necessarily the full truth, but a polished narrative designed to evoke sympathy, support, and admiration.
Axe murderers in prison, their family comes to see them, right? I mean, I'm not an axe murderer, you know.
Thomas argues that Meghan's portrayal of her childhood and personal struggles is largely a performance, a way to control the narrative around her life and to maintain relevance in the ever-changing world of celebrity. The Netflix series, which presents Meghan as a woman who overcame hardship and isolation, is, according to Thomas, a carefully constructed image that does not align with reality. He insists that Meghan had a comfortable upbringing with financial stability, supportive family, and access to opportunities that most people don't have. Yet this version of her life is replaced by a rags-to-riches story that makes her appear more relatable and heroic. This type of media manipulation is not unique to Meghan, of course. Many public figures use stories and images to create an emotional connection with their audience. It's a powerful tool that can influence how fans perceive them and how the media reports on their lives. But the ethical line is crossed, according to critics like Thomas Markle, when these stories obscure the truth or erase important facts in favor of drama and sympathy. One of the ways this manipulation allegedly happens is through selective storytelling, highlighting certain hardships while ignoring the privileges and support that also shaped Meghan's life. For instance, the depiction of her cooking simple, budget-friendly meals on her show is called into question. Thomas points out that these portrayals do not match her real lifestyle, which included fine dining and luxury. These small details may seem trivial, but are symbolic of a larger pattern where the narrative is tailored to fit a desired image rather than reality. Moreover, this crafted persona serves multiple purposes. It keeps public interest alive, maintains Meghan's place in popular culture, and often deflects criticism by painting her as a victim overcoming adversity. This narrative can build a loyal fan base and even sway public opinion during controversies, but it also risks alienating those who see through the veneer and feel deceived by the disconnect between the story and reality. This manipulation extends beyond personal image to affect relationships with family members. Thomas Markle and others believe that this selective portrayal damages real family bonds by erasing their contributions and rewriting history. It creates a version of events that fits the media spotlight but hurts those who lived the actual experiences. For families, this can be a source of deep pain and conflict as public narratives clash with private realities. In a broader sense, the use of media to craft such narratives raises questions about authenticity in the age of celebrity. When stories are carefully edited to create an emotional response, it challenges the audience to discern fact from fiction. The line between personal truth and public performance becomes blurred, making it difficult for fans to know what is real. This erosion of authenticity can have consequences not just for the individual, but for public trust in media and celebrity culture as a whole. Thomas Markle's accusations remind us that behind every public figure, there are real people and complex stories that don't always make it into the headlines. The tension between public perception and private reality is a difficult balancing act, especially when fame and media influence are involved. His claims highlight the human cost of media manipulation, how it can fracture families, distort histories, and create narratives that serve popularity more than truth. Ultimately, the alleged manipulation of public perception through media invites a critical look at how stories are told and why. It asks us to consider the motivations behind crafted images and the effects these narratives have on real lives. For Meghan Markle, according to her father, this manipulation has been both a tool for her success and a source of profound personal and familial conflict. For the public, it challenges us to look beyond the surface and question the stories we are presented with, seeking deeper understanding and compassion for the complex realities behind fame. The rift that is formed between Thomas Markle and his daughter Meghan is not just a public spectacle. It is a deeply personal and emotional divide that has torn apart what should have been one of the closest relationships in her life. This divide reaches far beyond the headlines, revealing a complex web of hurt, misunderstanding, and profound disappointment that neither side has been able to fully reconcile. The story is about more than just allegations and public claims. It's about family, identity, and the pain of estrangement. At the heart of this divide lies a sense of abandonment that Thomas Markle feels acutely. For years, he believed he was a supportive and devoted father, doing everything he could to provide for Meghan and help her succeed. From introducing her to influential people in the entertainment industry to working multiple jobs to ensure she had a comfortable life, Thomas was present and invested in her upbringing. He recalls moments of pride, watching her grow and pursue her dreams, believing that they shared a close bond. But as Meghan rose to international fame, and especially after her marriage into the British royal family, that closeness began to unravel. Thomas feels increasingly sidelined and ignored, pushed out of her life without explanation or opportunity for dialogue. He says he has tried to reach out repeatedly, through calls, texts, even letters, but has been met with silence or dismissal. The father who once celebrated every milestone now watches from a distance, feeling erased from the narrative of Meghan's life. This sense of abandonment is not one-sided. Meghan's supporters argue that the relationship was complicated and strained long before her royal days. They point to previous conflicts, differing personalities, and media scrutiny as factors that made reconciliation difficult. For Meghan, who has chosen to remain silent publicly, the reasons for distance may be wrapped in complex emotions, personal boundaries, and a desire to protect her own mental health and family unit. Yet, this silence only deepens the emotional chasm between them. The emotional divide is further fueled by contrasting narratives about Meghan's upbringing and identity. Thomas portrays a childhood filled with love, support, and privilege, insisting that the stories Meghan tells about hardship and loneliness are fabrications. For him, these tales are not just inaccurate, they are deeply hurtful, as they seem to erase his sacrifices and distort the truth. He sees Meghan's public persona as a constructed image that contradicts the daughter he knew. On the other hand, Meghan's portrayal of her life, highlighted in documentaries, interviews, and her Netflix series, presents a woman who faced challenges, felt isolated, and had to overcome obstacles. To her and many supporters, these stories are about resilience, growth, and breaking free from past limitations. The clash between these versions of her story is a major source of conflict, making it difficult for either side to feel understood or validated. This conflict is not merely about facts or memories. It's deeply emotional, touching on identity and self-worth. Both Thomas and Meghan want to be seen and heard on their own terms, but in doing so, they inadvertently invalidate the other's experience. This dynamic is painful and exhausting, leaving wounds that are hard to heal. The media attention and public scrutiny only amplify these tensions, turning private family struggles into global gossip. Adding to the emotional complexity is the involvement of other family members, such as Meghan's half-siblings, who have also publicly criticized her and sided with Thomas. Their voices contribute to the feeling of isolation Meghan experiences within her own family, while simultaneously complicating the situation further. What should be a source of support has instead become a battleground of conflicting loyalties and accusations. The emotional divide also has spiritual and cultural dimensions. As members of a family that values faith and resilience, the public airing of grievances and accusations feels like a betrayal of shared values. For many followers, the Markle family saga is heartbreaking because it contrasts sharply with ideals of forgiveness, unity, and unconditional love that they expect families to embody. This gap between expectation and reality makes the divide feel even more painful and tragic. Despite the deep pain and ongoing conflict, there are moments of reflection and hints at possible reconciliation. Thomas has expressed hope that someday the divide can be bridged, that communication might be restored, and that healing can occur. But he also recognizes the challenges and acknowledges the long road ahead. For Meghan, any path toward healing would likely require trust, openness, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths, a process that is never easy, especially under the public eye. The deep personal and emotional divide between Thomas Markle and Meghan Markle serves as a poignant reminder that behind every headline is a real family with real pain. It shows how fame and public pressure can exacerbate existing fractures and make healing more difficult. It also highlights the complexity of family dynamics, where love and hurt often coexist, and where the struggle to be understood can be lifelong. Ultimately, this divide is a story about human relationships, about the ways we connect, the ways we fail to communicate, and the hope that despite differences, reconciliation is possible. It invites empathy for all involved and challenges us to look beyond the scandal to the people behind the story, each navigating their own pain and longing for belonging. The journey toward healing is difficult and uncertain, but it is a path worth hoping for, because at the center of every family is the desire to be loved and accepted, no matter the mistakes or misunderstandings. The public reaction to the ongoing saga between Thomas Markle and Meghan Markle has been nothing short of intense, polarized, and deeply emotional. As news of Thomas's explosive claims and the family's private struggles became widely known, people across the globe found themselves drawn into a complex web of loyalty, judgment, sympathy, and confusion. This is not just a story about one family. It's a public drama that touches on themes of fame, privacy, identity, and the challenges of balancing personal relationships with a life lived in the spotlight. Yet, despite the flood of opinions and media coverage, many questions remain unanswered, leaving the public grasping for clarity amidst the chaos. From the moment Thomas Markle broke his silence, the reactions were swift and varied. Some people expressed sympathy for Thomas, viewing him as a father who feels abandoned and wronged by his daughter. These voices see his accusations as a painful attempt to seek justice and to reclaim his place in Meghan's life. They argue that his claims shed light on hidden truths and offer a more complete picture of Meghan's upbringing and character. For them, Thomas represents the side of the story that's been missing in the glossy public image of the Duchess. On the other hand, many supporters of Meghan viewed Thomas's public statements with skepticism or outright dismissal. They consider his revelations as motivated by bitterness, personal grievance, or a desire for attention. Some accuse him of trying to capitalize on Meghan's fame for his own gain or to manipulate public opinion. To these followers, Meghan is a figure who has overcome adversity and built a new life on her own terms, and Thomas's words are seen as attempts to undermine her success. This divide in perception has created a battleground where each side fiercely defends its narrative, often clashing in the court of public opinion. Social media platforms have become the epicenter of this debate. Twitter threads, Facebook groups, and Instagram comments overflow with heated discussions, memes, and heartfelt messages. Hashtags supporting both Thomas and Meghan trend at different times, and influencers, celebrities, and everyday people weigh in with their takes. This digital environment amplifies emotions, sometimes escalating misunderstandings and fueling divisiveness. What started as a private family matter has exploded into a global conversation shaped by personal biases, cultural differences, and varying degrees of knowledge. One of the most challenging aspects for the public is the sheer complexity of the story. It touches on sensitive topics like family estrangement, mental health, identity, and public scrutiny. Many find themselves empathizing with both Thomas and Meghan at different moments, recognizing the pain on all sides. Yet the contradictory narratives make it difficult to discern what is true, what is exaggerated, and what remains hidden. This uncertainty fuels ongoing speculation and endless media cycles. Adding to the intrigue is Meghan's own silence on many of the allegations. Her refusal to address her father's claims publicly has left many questions unanswered and contributed to a sense of mystery. Supporters say she deserves privacy and protection from relentless public scrutiny, while critics argue that silence can be interpreted as avoidance or guilt. This lack of response only deepens the divide, as people try to read between the lines and draw conclusions without hearing her side directly. The unanswered questions about Meghan's childhood and relationship with her family remain a significant source of curiosity and concern. What exactly was her upbringing like? How close was she really to her father and siblings? What caused the breakdown in their relationships? While Thomas paints a picture of a privileged and supportive environment, Meghan's account suggests struggle, neglect, and emotional hardship. The truth may lie somewhere in between, but the lack of transparency leaves a void filled by rumor and speculation. Another unresolved issue involves the motivations behind the public airing of these family disputes. Why has Thomas chosen to reveal such intimate details now? Is this a genuine attempt to seek reconciliation, or a strategic move to influence public perception? Similarly, what has prevented Meghan from publicly addressing the claims, if she indeed wishes to clarify or refute them? These questions about intent and timing create an additional layer of complexity that the public tries to untangle. The role of the media cannot be underestimated in shaping public reaction and influencing perceptions. Sensational headlines, selective editing, and the pursuit of controversy have often prioritized drama over understanding. This media landscape pressures the family to respond, often amplifying conflicts rather than promoting healing. The cycle of breaking news and follow-up stories ensures that the saga remains in the spotlight, sometimes to the detriment of the individuals involved. Moreover, the public's fascination with royal life adds a unique dimension to the story. Meghan's status as a duchess brings intense scrutiny and expectations, while also granting her a platform to tell her story. The monarchy's role and its traditions complicate matters further, as private family disputes intersect with institutional expectations and public symbolism. The world watches not just a family, but a global institution, heightening the stakes and the pressure on all parties involved. In this environment, many wonder about the impact on those closest to the situation: Meghan's children, other family members, and the people who work with them. How do these conflicts affect their well-being? How are they navigating the complexities of family loyalty, public image, and personal healing? These human stories behind the headlines often go overlooked, yet they are critical to understanding the full picture. Despite the widespread attention, there remains a profound need for grace and empathy in the public discourse. Families are messy, complicated, and often dysfunctional in ways that outsiders cannot fully comprehend. The public's role, many argue, should be to observe with compassion rather than judgment, recognizing that no one narrative can capture the whole truth. This call for kindness is echoed by mental health advocates, spiritual leaders, and those who have experienced their own family conflicts in the public eye. Looking forward, the unanswered questions hang heavy. Will Thomas and Meghan ever reconcile? Will they find a way to heal the wounds that have been so publicly exposed? Or will the divide deepen, leaving scars on both sides? The answers remain uncertain, and only time will tell if peace and understanding can be restored. For now, the public watches, talks, debates, and waits. The story is still unfolding, and its complexity defies easy resolution. What is clear, however, is that the saga between Thomas Markle and Meghan Markle is far more than just a family dispute. It's a powerful reminder of the human struggles behind fame and fortune, of the cost of public life, and of the universal desire for connection, acceptance, and truth. In the end, the unanswered questions are not just about facts, but about the very nature of family, love, and forgiveness.